Hey y'all, if you're looking for a small town with big potential where you're close to everything but still get to enjoy peace and quiet, let me introduce you to Duncan, South Carolina. This hidden gem in the Upstate is growing fast and for good reason. Whether you're relocating for work or looking for an affordable community to raise a family, downsizing into something simpler, or upsizing into something awesome, Duncan might be the place for you. My name is Blake Kirsch. I'm a third-generation realtor here in the upstate of South Carolina. I am going to do a series of videos all about the small towns across South Carolina so that people like you who are moving here from maybe across the country who have never even been to the upstate know what they're getting themselves into and can look at these videos and help themselves decide what areas they might want to focus on in their search. If you don't know what area you want to focus on in your search yet, definitely start watching my videos. But another thing that might help is take the quiz in the description below. That quiz is going to help you answer a couple questions and decide what suburb of the upstate of Spartanburg and Greenville is going to fit your needs best. But for this video, let's dive into everything that Duncan, South Carolina has to offer. Let's start with location because this is one of Duncan's biggest advantages. Duncan sits along Interstate 85, about 20 minutes from Greenville and 15 minutes from Spartanburg, an hour from Charlotte, and like everything else in the upstate, just a few hours from Atlanta. So it's really centered perfectly in a middle ground here in the upstate. I always like to say that Duncan and Greer are the middle ground and perfect for anybody whether they're moving to Greenville or Spartanburg. I do have some families that might be moving here for one of the spouse's jobs. So say you get moved to South Carolina and your spouse is going to be working in Greenville and you don't know if you're going to get a job in Greenville, Spartanburg, or somewhere in between. Duncan is definitely a good spot for you. Duncan and Greer would be both good, but Duncan would definitely be a good spot more towards the Spartanburg side of things. Duncan is close and accessible to tons of different restaurants and shops and everything you need for day-to-day life, and you really have a lot of options. First of all, Duncan itself has tons of new restaurants, shops, stores. Everything that you need to function in day-to-day life is going to be actually in Duncan, South Carolina, right off Interstate 85, right there on that exit, on the Duncan exit. You're also very close to everything in Spartanburg County. Duncan is in Spartanburg County, and you're very close to the west side of Spartanburg, especially where we have Costco, Sam's Club, the mall, everything that you need on, more load-up bases, the days that you need to go and restock all of your major things for your house, or if you need to go to a specialty store like Hobby Lobby or Academy, that's all very accessible to Duncan too, just down the road in the west side of Spartanburg. You're also close then at that point to downtown Spartanburg, which offers lots more small specialty stores and tons of fun things to do, great restaurants. So Duncan, South Carolina is perfectly situated for your day-to-day life as well as those more special occasions where you're going to go to Charlotte or Greenville. Now let's talk about things to do because while Duncan is small, it's surrounded by activity. If you're into outdoors, Shipwreck Cove Water Park is right in town and it's a summertime favorite for families and kids in Duncan, South Carolina. Stone Ledge Park is another small local gym with a large playground, picnic areas, and plenty of space for sports and community events. So that's another good amenity in Duncan. Plus you're just a few minutes away from Tiger River Park, one of the top sports complexes in the state. It's definitely a big draw to that whole area, Duncan, Welford area, and it's good for property values there. So don't forget about Tiger River Park and the whole Tiger River area when you are looking at Duncan, South Carolina. Whether you're into walking trails, baseball, or just need a spot to let the kids run around for a minute, you've got tons of options nearby if you do choose Duncan. As far as accessibility goes, another great thing about Duncan is it's very close to GSP Airport. If you do live close to 85 in Duncan in one of those neighborhoods along the I-85 corridor, you can be at GSP Airport in less than 15-20 minutes. So that's another great amenity that Duncan gets to enjoy, as well as, like the rest of the upstate, a short drive up to Charlotte Douglas International Airport. But let's shift gears here for a minute and talk about real estate in Duncan. And this is where things get really exciting because Duncan is one of the most affordable and fastest growing areas in the upstate. You'll find a mix of new construction homes, starter homes, larger properties, just anything that anybody might want. Duncan has a little bit of everything for different types of buyers. There are several well-established neighborhoods as well as new subdivisions with modern amenities coming up all the time in Duncan. As a local realtor, I've helped families all the way from the low $200,000 range in Duncan all the way up to the $1 million range in Duncan. So I understand the area from point A to point B. It can help you decide if Duncan is going to be the right place for you no matter what price range you're in. One community that I definitely set my sights on and work a lot in the Duncan area is River Falls Plantation. It's a large golf community that has a Gary Player signature golf course. It's definitely one of the higher end communities, but there's a little something for everyone in there. If you do decide to live in more of a country club kind of atmosphere where you could play golf or, you know, raise your kids in an area where you're close to everything, but also you have lots to do in your own neighborhood, River Falls Plantation might be for you. One thing I'll say about River Falls is traditionally there has not been a very big inventory in there, and homes that do sell, much like a lot of our higher end price point neighborhoods, kind of have a flip of a coin situation. On one end, they might be perfect and very expensive, of course, because it's a nice community. On the other hand, there's a lot of homes that come up in River Falls that are very big and very nice, but maybe really outdated. And those homes take a special buyer, right? Because those people have to be able to both afford a super expensive home and be able to afford and be willing to renovate that home. So I would definitely keep my eye on River Falls Plantation if you're looking for something more high end. Another great community that's in the Duncan Moore area is Sweetwater Hills. That community is very near and dear to my heart because it's one of the first communities I ever sold in, and it's definitely a community I continue to sell into this day. There are homes in there ranging from large homes for big families all the way down to small patio-sized homes for first-time home buyers and for retirees. One reason that I love working in Sweetwater Hills is because of those more smaller homes, the homes that are 2 bedrooms, 3 baths. A lot of them are all brick or mostly brick. And I think they have a good value, good location, safe area for my clients that are either looking to downsize or looking for a first-time home buyer opportunity. So definitely, if I had to pick 2 neighborhoods that stand out to me in the Duncan Moore area, those would be my 2. If you have kids or are planning to, you'll be glad to know that Duncan is served by Spartanburg County School District 5, which is known for its strong academic programs and newer school facilities. Schools like James F. Burns High School, D.R. Hill Middle School, and Abner Creek Elementary School are popular with families and well supported by the local community. There are also several charter and private school options nearby, especially in Spartanburg, so there's a little bit of opportunity for everybody there if you have children, no matter if you want to choose the public school route or the private school route. Healthcare is also easy and accessible in Duncan, South Carolina, with several small clinics and urgent cares in the community, as well as a short drive to the hospitals in Spartanburg and in Greer. For those working remotely, Duncan is a great spot with lots of small coffee shops and restaurants, high-speed internet in a lot of the communities. Definitely a good spot to be in, no matter if you're working from the home or if you're going to be commuting to different spots in Greenville or different spots in Spartanburg. One thing that's brought a major influx to this part of the upstate in particular, that would be the Moore, Duncan, Welford, Greer area, kind of the center areas between Greenville and Spartanburg, is the development of so much industry along the I-85 corridor as well as in Welford. One thing that's come to Welford is the new BMW facility that's been built there. There's a huge influx of people who are already moving and going to be moving to these communities to help support those new industries. So Duncan is definitely an area that traditionally was just a small suburb of Spartanburg, but in today's world there's so much going on in Spartanburg, Greenville, and everywhere in between. Duncan has definitely started to grow out with new communities, new restaurants, and a whole new vibe, while still maintaining that small town charm that so many people love about Duncan, South Carolina. One other thing I like about Duncan, South Carolina is the fact that there are so many fun things from Spartanburg, South Carolina that are now represented in Duncan. 2 things that pop into my mind first would be Health and Hand Smoothie Bar, which is my favorite smoothie place in downtown Spartanburg. There's also a Duncan location. Another thing that would make me go to Duncan would be Crib's Kitchen. Crib's Kitchen is one of the most popular restaurants in downtown Spartanburg, and they of course also have a Duncan location. So you'll see that the communities of Greenville and Spartanburg have definitely started to invest in Duncan, and maybe that's a good indication that you should too. too. So whether it's Duncan, South Carolina, or one of the other small suburbs in the upstate of South Carolina, give me a call today and I can discuss with you what your options are for buying and selling here in the upstate. We have so many different small towns that fit a plethora of needs, and my end-all be-all comment that I say to all of my clients, because there's so many amazing places to live in the upstate, it's hard to choose one. I always tell my clients the good thing is everything else is a short drive. So if you do decide to plant yourself in Duncan, South Carolina, you're only a short drive from Spartanburg, Greenville, Greer, Wellford, the western upstate and all of its lakes, Lake Bowen, Charlotte, North Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina, 3 hours from the beach. Just like everything else in the upstate, you are close to so many enjoyable things, and you will never be without something to do in the upstate of South Carolina. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you still don't know where you want to live or where you think you might need to be moving to if you're getting relocated to South Carolina, take the quiz in the description below. It's going to help you narrow down what areas fit you best. But of course, the number one thing you should do first is call me, have a chat, and we can decide what is the best place you should focus on during your move to South Carolina. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.